Man Enough to Listen by Herbert Fenner. Disappointed speaks. I'm so fed up that I don't know what to do. I believed in you. I trusted you for what? You continue to break my heart. You continue to shatter my dreams because my dreams included you. Just the other day I came across this poem. I cried as I read it because it described my pain, the pain that you caused. The poem is called Did You Tell Him? Did you tell him that life for you ain't been no crystal stair? That you worked all day and nobody seemed to care? Did you tell him you had to get the kids ready for school? Feed them, clothe them, and teach them the golden rule? Did you tell him that the bills were overdue? And the jobs was laying off, which included you? Did you tell him that the check never came? Yes, the one he promised that would bear his name? Did you tell him that you were afraid and didn't know what to do? And him being in prison was an insult to you. The next time you visit him, I want you to tell him. I can't believe you are so negligent. How could you leave your wife and kids? You said you were done. What you done for us, but actually you done this to us. How long do I have to spend my anniversaries, birthdays, and holidays in a visiting room with strangers being told that I can't touch you? How long will your sons have to face the fear of gangs and street thugs alone? How many times do I have to go to prison when you go? Did I tell you that your oldest son is experimenting with drugs? Yes, everyone is feeling the effects of your negligence. And the sad thing is, you don't even care. All you care about is me sending you money and visiting you. But that's going to change. After many tears and deep thoughts, I've come to realize that I let you bring me down. I waited and waited for you to do the right thing, but you never showed up. Until you prove that you are responsible and care about your family, I'm taking over. I'm going to go back to school, get another job, and save my family. But as for you, Mr. Negligence, I'm not giving up on you. Whenever I can, instead of sending you money to waste, I'm going to send you books to read. The type of books that will teach you how to be responsible. And yeah, your so-called friends, comrades, won't even give me a dime to send to you. I can't believe you chose your friends over your family. I am so disappointed. What did you think about at night? What are you doing to better yourself? I hope you are not lying to me again about going to school. Are you still making excuses and blaming others for your failures? You were good at that. For a long time, you had me believing that something was wrong with me. And you were right. Putting up with you is what was wrong with me. Be looking for a book in the mail. It's a book on integrity and how to put your family first. When I come visit you, be prepared to discuss it. And don't forget to write your son. I can't believe you are so negligent. Removing the name tag from my neck, I was instructed to put it back on. I had to keep the name tags on until everyone was finished. The next one to share their story was Fearful. As Fearful handed me the name tag Abuse, her hand shook. I wanted so much to say everything was be alright, but I had already said enough. Hanging a tag around my neck, Fearful began. Fearful speaks. When I was a little girl, I watched my stepfather abuse my mother. My mother was in prison in her own home. In my stepfather's eyes, my mother was the scum of the earth and could do nothing right. I would often hear him threaten to kill my mother, which made me very fearful. I prayed that the abuse would stop, and it did once my mother was murdered. Abuse, you killed my mother and you destroyed my life. I thought you were in prison for killing my mother until you showed up in my life. You hid yourself so well in my own relationship. How could I possibly see you abuse behind the gifts, the hugs and kisses behind the engagement ring? Why do you wish to destroy me like you done my mother? You said you loved me and that you would protect me. But you are the one who hurts me. You are the one who puts me down in front of our children. Because of you, my life has no meaning. I have no friends and I'm afraid to make any. But that is going to change because I'm going to change. I refuse to allow you to murder me like you murdered my mother. Bruce, I want you to take a good look at me because this will be the last time you see me. I've cried my last cry, and I've taken my last beating. You need help, Bruce, and I hope you get it fast. I can't believe I stayed with you this long. I knew you had a problem drinking, but I didn't think it would turn you into a monster. I also know about your abuse as a child. But is that an excuse for you to take your frustration out on others? What's wrong with you? Look at me. Look at the bruises you put on me. Why did you hurt me, Abuse? Do you even know why? Do you know what it's like to be fearful of someone you love is supposed to love you? You had so much potential, and you threw it all away. I'm sorry that you want to kill your dreams, but I can't allow you to kill mine. Today I have the opportunity of a lifetime. I have the opportunity to walk away. Please don't follow me. If you want to show me how much you love me and realize the pain you caused, then allow me the freedom to live in peace. All I want is the chance my mother didn't have. I deserve to be free, and I'm going to be free. I deserve to be happy, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to pray for you, Abuse, because I believe in change. You need to take a good long look at yourself and reclaim your sanity. No woman should have to go through what I went through. I mean, no woman. I used to be a bitter woman, but not anymore. I'm going to laugh more, smile more, and cry less. When I do cry, there will be tears of joy. I'm going to get out more and meet people. I'm going to share my story with women who also been abused. They will know that they too can live. They will know that they too have the opportunity of a lifetime. The opportunity to walk away and rewrite their story. Before we move forward, allow me to tell you what I see and what you need to see. Bent over in a fetal position, a cascade of tears runs from disappointed and fearful eyes. These women are hurting negligence and abuse, but the tears they shed now is not for themselves. Those tears are for you, my man. Did you not know that these women love you? They carried your child for 9 long months. They believed in you, ran for you, and listened to you when nobody else would. They never asked for much. All they wanted was for you to be responsible and caring. Was that asking for much? While the women get themselves together to move on, I have something else to share with you, my brothers. I want you to ponder on these words. The title of this message is I Too Am Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was not just a poet, he was an artist. In his own words, Langston Hughes remarked, poetry should be direct, comprehensible, and an epitome of simplicity. In a direct, comprehensible, and simplistic way, Langston Hughes expressed his awareness of love for the African race. In his works such as Dream Deferred, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, and I Too, Langston Hughes' heart bleeds for the African race and his voice reverberates throughout the land. In Dream Deferred, Langston Hughes poses a question to a race whose dreams have been deferred due to slavery. The question, what happens to a dream deferred, was meant to make us think about our future, which in many cases has been lost. Langston Hughes believed there was hope for us, and that hope was found once an honest assessment of our lives had been taken. The picture Langston Hughes painted was vivid yet honest. The honesty of Langston Hughes ran its course and influenced Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to stand on the monument to give the electrifying speech, I Have a Dream. With a bleeding heart, Langston Hughes speaks of rivers. Using the rivers, Langston Hughes bridges the gaps and links the chain of the African people, which have been scattered across the world. Despite the fact that many of our dreams have been deferred, the river speaks of life and hope. Langston Hughes reminds us that our journey is not over, and that we are indeed a source of life, which has the right to move on like the rivers. Standing tall with his head held high, Langston Hughes reminds us that we belong, and despite the challenges today, that there is hope for a better tomorrow. I too, said Langston Hughes, allowing us men in this particular case to complete the thought as it applies to us as a whole and as individuals. Whatever you wish to be, you can become. After many years of slavery, abuse, rejection, open ridicule, and having to eat in the kitchen, we as a people ate well and grew strong. Now we have the strength to rise up and as men and say, I too can be free. I too can get a good education, and I too can take care of my family. As I speak to you brothers, I'm looking at our women collect themselves. I also realize that they too have a dream. They too deserve to live. And they too have something to say. The room was once again quiet and women were ready to move on. Sitting straight up in my chair, I fought back the tears as I received the next name tag from a woman named Hopeless. Looking at my name tag, I had now become critical. Hopeless speaks. I remember when we first met, you used to always compliment me on how nice I look and how proud you were of me. You would tell me I was your queen and you were my king. We used to laugh together and we even prayed together at times. Whenever we would go out, I felt so special. I felt like I was in my own world, a world that consisted of you and I. When you would tell me how bright and promising our future would be together, I felt like a little girl living in a fantasy land. Never could I imagine that I would wake up one morning next to a stranger. You went from being compassionate and understanding to being critical. I know I gained some weight after I had your second child, but my heart didn't change. I tried so hard to please you, and it seemed like you became more critical. I used to hear you tell your friends that you would never be seen with me again in public. And why would you put me down in front of our children? Why shouldn't my daughter want to be like her mother? I know I lost hope for a while. I know I allowed you to control my life with your criticism, but that's over now. Did you forget that it was this overweight woman that kept a roof over your head when you couldn't find a job? What about when you went to jail? Yes, this big woman was the only one who would take the long bus rides to visit you. While you so busy criticizing me, you don't even show up for your children's birthdays. When was the last time you've been to a PTA meeting? Well, let me answer that for you, Mr. Critical. You never been to one. This good-for-nothing woman that you speak evil of attends all of them. Allow me to tell you some other things I do that makes me proud. I attend your son's basketball games. I taught your daughter how to play chess. I make sure your children makes every doctor and dental appointment. And by the way, your children makes honor roll every quarter. I laugh now when I think about how you enslaved me. Your words held me captive, but not anymore. I don't care what you say about me. I'm more a man than you are. You don't have enough sense to recognize when somebody loves you. Look at you now. You're running around trying to buy love. How could you possibly look down on somebody who loved you? I just need to know what happened to you. Do you think you live in a perfect world? You can't possibly think that as long as you are still in it. Were you really trying to destroy me with your criticism? When was the last time you looked in the mirror? The next time you do, I want you to repeat these words. Say, criticism, you are the man. It's going to put you over, bring you under. Right now, sweetie, your criticism is bringing you under. Look around you right now. I'm almost certain that your criticism has put you somewhere that you don't wish to be. I only pray that you change because your children needs their father. A father without criticism. As I sit here listening, I realize that I'm also guilty of being critical. Until now, I wasn't aware of this negative effect. This is truly an eye-opener for me, and I hope it's one for you as well. When Hope is talked about looking in the mirror, she brought me back to something that I would like to share before we move on. It's called looking in the mirror. Look at him walking around like a drunken man in his stupor. Without taking one sip of alcohol, he continued to stumble over his dreams. A dream deferred, that's what it is. I remember the time when he knew his role in life. He used to tell me how he would be a good father, good son, and faithful husband. The sad thing is I actually believed him. Going against my better judgment, I gave him a chance to prove me wrong. But I should have known better. I was deceived by the way he came out of the starter's box. He had this look of pure determination. Not looking to the right or the left, he looked straight ahead to the goal. He ran with such poise. To be honest, I was beginning to envy him. I could actually hear myself along with others chanting, "Go, go, go." How could I actually believe in him? I should have known he would eventually drop out the race, quit, forsake his family, and forsake God. I should have known he would make excuses, shift the blame, and eventually hang his head in shame. I should have known this. For some strange reason, I can't take my eyes off him. And every time I look at him, he looks at me. What are you looking at me for? I'm not the one who quit. I'm not the one who dropped out, cheated, and forsook God. I yelled, showing my disappointment. I went on and on until tears began to fall from his eyes. As he cried, I began to feel his pain. It was a pain that ran deep. Looking back at me, he finally decided to speak. I believed in you. Going against my better judgment, I gave you a chance to prove me wrong. I remember when you knew your role in life. You would tell me how you would be a good father, a good son, and faithful husband. Quickly turning and hanging my head in shame, I realized that I had been looking in the mirror. Well, the women are ready to move on. I hope what I shared with you will open your eyes to the importance of not being critical. The next woman we will hear from is depressed. Depressed would like to express herself to unfaithful. Hang an unfaithful name tag around my neck. Let's listen to what depressed has to share. Depressed speaks. I know you can hear me, so I want you to listen to me real good. Ever since you left me, my life has not been the same. When I found out you were cheating on me, I was so hurt. I really thought you were different. I used to brag to my girlfriends about how I had a good man who loved me and was different. When we were together, every day was a sunny day. I can still remember how you used to make me laugh. You could be so silly at times. Why did you have to go and destroy all that we had? I know I told you I didn't want to see you anymore. What was I supposed to say when I'm hurting and depressed? I just needed some time to get myself together. Never could I have imagined that 3 weeks later, when I would call your house looking for you, your family would tell me that you had been murdered. I just knew they were joking. I smiled because I knew you were playing like you always did. How could you do this to me? How could you leave me to bear such a burden? For a year I ran and hid. I shut down and became depressed. I still remember our last conversation. I told you I didn't want to talk to you again. When you walked away, I watched you until I wasn't able to see you anymore with tears running down my face. I was in so much pain because of your unfaithfulness. But I had eventually gotten over it. The day I called looking for you, I wanted to tell you that I had forgiven you. I wanted to see you that day. I had even cooked your favorite meal. After a year, I had gotten enough heart to visit your grave. I wasn't able to move on until I said goodbye. I also would like for you to forgive me. Right now, I'm bouncing back. I still look at your pictures from time to time. I also met this guy I've been dating for about 6 months. So far, so good, is all that I can say. Well, I have to go now. I'm so sorry that our story had to end this way. To be honest, I'm afraid to commit to another relationship. I guess I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm also afraid of being left alone again. But what can I do? Life's been full of risks. I just hope that the man I'm dating now will be faithful. If I had one word to describe the depressed situation, the word would be tragedy. I can't imagine having to deal with a situation like that. When I think about depressed and what she shared, I'm reminded of this short story by the ancient Greek storyteller Aesop. One day, a dog stole a piece of meat out of a butcher shop. While on his way to a safe place where he could eat it without interruption, he had to cross over a footbridge over a clear stream. Looking down, he saw his own reflection in the water. Thinking that the reflection was another dog with another piece of meat, and being a greedy dog, he made up in his mind to have that also. So he snarled and made a grab for the other dog's meat. As he opened his mouth, his meat dropped into the stream and was swept away. The moral of the story, gentlemen, is when you grasp at the shadow, you lose the substance. How often do unfaithfulness cause us to lose the woman we love for that which was never meant to have? Isn't it ironic that the story just happened to be about a greedy dog? Not being satisfied with what we have, we risk the chance of ending up with nothing. So the next time you think about grabbing at the other dog's meat, know that you risk losing the substance of the love that's real. Moving forward, I took a look at the name tag that hung around my neck. They were negligent, abusive, critical, and unfaithful. Next to speak was fatigue. Fatigue handed me a tag that read, selfish. Fatigue speaks. I was just a freshman in college when we met. I was on both an academic and athletic scholarship. My parents were so proud of me. I was the first one in my family who went to college on an academic scholarship. Before I could practice with the track team, I had to take a physical. I remember walking into the clinic and seeing my coach. I felt in my stomach there was something wrong, but I didn't know what. When the nurse told me that I was HIV positive, I knew it had to be a mistake. I wasn't a drug user. I wasn't having unprotected sex. And I only had one partner. It wasn't until I thought back on our relationship that I realized that it was you, selfish. You knew you was my first and only. You pressured me to have unprotected sex with you, knowing that you were infected. How could you be so selfish? Why would you kill my dreams like this? Look at what you've done to me. My family won't speak to me and my friends don't understand me anymore. I am so fatigued. Why couldn't you just be honest with me and give me a choice? Who are you to decide whether a person should live or die? As much as you may think you won being selfish, I assure that you haven't. I'm not going to lay down and die selfish. I'm getting back up and I'm going to live my dreams. I'm going to finish college, and as far as track and field is concerned, I'm running another race now. It's called the Survivors Marathon, and it's for anyone who refuses to quit. As we cross our individual and collective finish lines, that's going to be a message to all the selfish men like you that we are survivors. I know you don't have faith, but I do. And just in case you are wondering where I get my strength from, listen to this. The Lord is the everlasting God. He created all the world. He never grows tired or weary. No one understands his thoughts. He strengthens those who are weak and tired. Even those who are young grow weak. Young people can fall exhausted. But those who trust in the Lord for help will find their strength renewed. They will rise on wings like eagles. They will run and not get weary. They will walk and not grow weak. Selfish, your plan has failed. And I can tell you why. Your plan went against God's plan, selfish. So you lose. I feel sorry for you selfish because being selfish won't get you anywhere. Can you see that this world is bigger than you? You need to get help. And yes, there are people who doesn't just think about themselves. If you take the time to look outside of yourself, you will see it. Wild is absolutely right, gentlemen. I must admit that I'm guilty of being selfish, but I only hope that it wasn't this devastating. After hearing Fatigue's story, I'm convinced that we as men have to tighten up. Gentlemen, this type of behavior is criminal and insane. I couldn't even look Fatigue in our eyes. Gentlemen, we're better than this. Are you listening to what our women are saying? Are you feeling what they are feeling? Or are you being selfish? Fatigue talked about her strength being renewed. She also spoke about rising on wings like eagles. Allow me to share a story with you about an eagle. A story I believe can help us all as men. High in the mountains there laid an eagle's nest. One particular day while the mother eagle was away from the nest collecting twigs for the eagle to be strong, a wind blew, blowing one of the eagle's eggs from the nest. At the foot of the mountain there lay a duck's nest. The eagle egg just happened to land in a duck's nest. When the mother duck returned to her nest, she didn't notice the new arrival. A week later, the duck eggs hatched, along with the eagle egg. The baby eagle, in spite of the difference of appearance, he thought he was a duck. One day while out in the field, the ducks quacked, and so did the baby eagle. The ducks waddled, and so did the baby eagle. The following day, while in the field again, a flock of eagles that were flying over the ducks noticed the baby eagle. One of the eagles yelled down to the baby eagle, "What are you doing down there?" The baby eagle responded, "I'm a duck. I belong down here." The eagle went on to tell the baby eagle that he was an eagle and that he was supposed to be soaring high like the other eagles. With a little convincing, the baby eagle began to flap his wings until eventually he was soaring like the eagle that he was. So I guess my question to the men are, what are you doing quacking with the ducks when you're supposed to be soaring like the eagle that you are? Prison is no place for us.